know.
And speaking of baseball season, the Blue Jays are in 4th place. Yankees in first by 8.5 games. Twins in first over the Indians by 6.5
Look at the Cleveland
games.
Indians though. They were out by about 11 or 12 games.
10 games over 500.
And they're now 6.5 back. I don't know if they can catch them.
They can't.
What's that?
They can't.
Well, Terry, they made up 6 games in a month, Terry.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
And they
Tom.
just swept your
baseball.
lowly Royals.
Everything starts to heat up after the
That was
All-Star
tough, huh?
break, and that's coming.
See, but
up,
they're doing
so.
this without Kluber, Clevenger, and they've really.
I'm not going to put them down. I think Cleveland will catch Minnesota. I think they will.
If they get their players. They got to get, Kluber, they say it. They're not really sure if he'll come back.
Well, I want to mention something. How many people stayed up last week to watch the games across the ocean?
I didn't.
No.
The Yankees in Boston.
It was a home run fest.
Yes.
Let's
But you
what?
couldn't get nobody out.
I think it was, 385 to center field?
Let's
They playing on a T-ball field?
Let's put the 2 most hated teams in baseball.
Did you see
Most
that
loved
guy
and most
that
hated.
they put on television? I think they put it all over. He had like the hat custom made, where it was like half New York on one side, half Boston on the other.
That's so London. Y'all don't understand.
The commentator was like, that wouldn't fly stateside.
No, that's
The
that's so
greatest
London.
picture they had from over is when the other guy gave the guy the ball. And
Well,
that
you know
guy
what I
was
would've
standing there with the beard on, and he's got a baseball. It's probably the first one ever. He probably never even had one in his hand before.
You know what I'd like to see is them do a promotion where they have the major league players try to hit some cricket
Oh my!
over there. They
And
should
then have cricket players try and hit a
That's what I said. They
baseball.
should have done some type of cross promotion. I like seeing some of the baseball players trying to hit that, man. The
But
things bouncing.
Surely they're not trying to put a team over there.
Yes, Tom.
But why? But
that's the
why?
goal from every
That's where
league.
the
Why?
Rays are gonna end up.
Money, Tom. Money.
No,
soon
but
as-
it's not.
London's
Well,
largest
soon-
stadium.
That'd be like, let's put a cricket team in New York City.
No,
That's
well,
not
why
gonna
do you
work.
think that we play all these NFL teams over or NFL games
Yeah,
over there?
I
they're
mean,
going to move. It's
If they
just-
do,
I
I,
just
hope
not
they put
baseball.
the team in the National League.
Well, it has to be in the
Kansas City
National
don't
League.
need to go to no place across
It would
no
have to
ocean
be in the
play
National
nobody.
League.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way. There's no way that
Wait.
baseball.
You hope
would
that they
make
just
it
put them
That
in the.
cannot be.
You hope they just put them in
No
the
way.
East because an American League East could still go over there and play.
In the American League West, Astros lead by 6.5 over Oakland. Texas, 8 over them. And the Angels, with the greatest player of all time, are still 10 games back. I don't
And they're
understand
one
that.
game over 500.
Seattle fell
Don't
apart.
understand.
Gosh Almighty.
Yeah, they.
All right, over in the National League out west, Dodgers have run away with that one, 60 and 30 overall.
Wow.
Rockies are 14.5 behind them. Up in the East, the Braves are 6.5. So we've got three divisions at 6.5, one at 8.5, one at 14.5, and so 6.5 is the closest division. Now let's go to the Central, folks. Listen to this. Last place is only 4 games out in the National League Central.
Yeah.
Every division of baseball, the
And
closest
the Reds
second place team
still
is
have a
6.5
great run
games out.
differential.
And in the National League Central, all 5 teams are within 4 games of each other. So if you're looking for competitive, fun baseball, folks, watch NL Central baseball this year. And they're all pretty much – there's 2 teams under 500, but Reds are only 3 games under 500, and we talk about them all the time. They've actually – I looked up last night. They've given up the least runs in baseball, and they're in dead last. Least runs at 320.
Yeah, they got to play Cleveland today, so that'll be interesting to see if Cleveland can score on their pitching staff.
So something scrolled at the
The
bottom.
interesting thing is if the Reds will score on you.
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
scoring on
Yeah, they're not
anybody.
scoring Something-
That's their problem.
While I was in Florida, I was watching Fox Sports, and something scrolled at the bottom, and it was, I think it was during one of the betting shows that they have, and it was World Series odds to win the World Series, and I was happy to see that they actually have the Atlanta Braves as not the favorite, but they're favored to have a chance at winning the World Series this year.
It's good. The Braves are back.
The Braves, they did a great job having young talent. I think they made a great move for Dallas Keuchel. He obviously didn't have the best opening game, but you got to get used to the new area. You're playing different teams than you're used to playing, being in the American League. I think that there's some upside to him. Last year they said that they were a little early making the playoffs when they did. They were just like a year early. some say they were a few years early. I think they're right on schedule.
Why would you?
They have two starters in the All-Star game as well.
Can you give me a reason why when Keuchel come over they sent him down and he did AAA first before he moved up?
I'll be honest. I don't know.
I mean,
why
I
you would do
understand
that.
you already know what this guy can do. Why send him down there? Was he hurt? I mean, you know,
I don't know if he was hurt. They didn't release if he was hurt. What I don't understand by that is, to him, don't you think that could kind of be a slap in the face? Yeah, we're going to trade for you. We're going to bring you in. You're a Cy Young winner, but we're going to send you down to AAA first.
Yeah, I did not understand.
We know what you can do. We're going to send you to AAA.
Got to
first.
warm up, man.
Okay.
You can warm up in the
Why
bullpen.
not?
You can
Do
warm
it.
up.
Yeah.
You can warm up practicing with the legit squad. I
Hey,
think
I don't
that's
know.
what hurt him.
I'll
in
tell
his
you
first
why,
staff.
and Tom will agree with me. The AAA team needs to sell a couple extra hot dogs. Been low in sales this year, so they need to bring him in. Sell
Low in
some hot
sales.
dogs. I try to tell you, boys, you got hot dogs rule the world. I'm telling you.
If that's the truth, then the Mets, hey, Tebow, you need to sell some hot dogs.
American League wild card settings. Tommy Indians are in the playoffs. If we started today, half game lead over the A's. The Rays are half game lead in front of the Indians for the fourth.
It's crowded there, though.
Yes,
still within
to give
20.
to give everybody a heads up, no team in the American League is within first place, 6.5 games of first place. However, 3, 6, 7 teams are within 6 games of the wild card.
Yeah, really. Even the Chicago White Sox are still in the mix for that.
And they're 2 games under 500. So
Yeah.
everyone over 500, even the Angels, are in the chance for a wild card right now.
But do they make it? Tune in next time.
All right, looking over the National League. So Terry, you got to thank Jeff Jones for his Orioles again this year. Remember,
That's right.
because they're worse than y'all.
They beat Cleveland 13-0 in back-to-back games,
What y'all doing?
and then Cleveland beat them a third game 2-0, and then they swept Kansas City. But how do you get beat 13-0 by the worst team in baseball 2 games in a row? How's that happen?
The baseball stats are fun. The red stats are fun. The other one I like is, of course, I like the Cardinals stat. They were 20-10 at one point, best record in baseball. Since, Tom, they've went 24-32, and they're a game and a half out. They are 24-32 in their last 50-some games, and they're a game and a half out of first place.
Yeah, that division is, like you said, it's anybody's.
It's crazy.
The last place team's only 4 games out.
So over in the wild card, look how many teams are available in the National League. Oh, every team but the Marlins are 7 within 7 games. Every team in the National League still has a shot of making the
tell you
playoffs.
what, they
Terry.
can't say
that's
there
pretty
is-
neat.
They
isn't it?
cannot say there isn't any parity in baseball.
That's neat. I like that. I mean,
There are no super teams in baseball.
think about it. You're a 3-game winning or losing streak from dropping or rising so quickly.
Well, there's a concern that attendance is down in Major League Baseball games,
Imagine
is.
that.
especially once your team.
Yeah.
So this is.
Think they're
a-
fixing it.
This
Is this
will be-
price fixing?
You know, I say maybe this is helping fix the problem.
Oh, that's always been a thing. Like when me and Terry talk about it all the time, especially in these small markets, they're screwed. Like if they can't sign a player, and then you're not good enough to
Make the
compete,
playoff.
then nobody's in the stands.
Yeah.
The last 80, 100, 8, you play 81 home games. So let's say you got 40 games of nobody there, or 50 like the Rays. There's just so much money, and then still. The outfielders are getting paid more than the owners in the NBA.
That's how I was
Something.
confused. That's how I was confused. Trout even got that money because the Angels have been really.
TV money so
They've
big.
been
It's
nothing
ridiculous.
for years, like contention-wise, compared to the other team in the Los Angeles area, the Dodgers. If they both played on the same night, both home games in L.A., you mean to tell me more people are at an Angels game than a Dodgers game? I don't think so.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
When Major League Baseball comes up and they do total head count for today's game do they mean they counting the people who had season tickets that never showed up today?
Yes.
I don't think they do.
It's paying
Do they?
It's paid.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's paid. Definitely paid. I think they got 2 different numbers.
They're
They
probably
got
gonna
it paid and they got
They're
actual
obviously
game.
going to count what the revenue. That
I don't think
got.
they
So
should.
Whether
I don't-
if it's
anybody
paid-
in that seat or not, we're going to count
Yeah,
it.
if it's paid for, I don't think they. I'm not sure if they.
I think they
So
just.
no wonder when you look at a stadium at Miami and
Oh yeah, there's nobody.
they say
in the
there's
stand.
37,000 people here today and you only see 500.
Yeah,
No.
that's how that works. All right, JP, you ready for another break? All right, if y'all had to pick real quick before we go, we'll do this again.
Mhm.
World Series today. Who you got?
AL/NL, like both teams.
Giants and Dodgers.
Yes, that's how.
I thought you meant just the winner. I was like, oh well.
Yeah, give me who's in the World Series. You going for Earthquake?
I'm going
That's
Giants
Terry's
and
calling the
Dodgers.
Earthquake series again, even though they wouldn't play each other.
Giants.
And Dodgers play in the National League. I'm waiting for him to figure that
okay.
out.
I thought you meant for the World Series.
World Series, Terry.
No, it'd be the Yankees and the Dodgers.
Yankees and Dodgers.
I'm gonna take the Astros and dude, I'm gonna give the Braves a shot. I'm gonna give them a shot. They're winning their series. I'm gonna give them a shot. The Astros and the Braves.
You're learning. You're just like a Cowboy fan.
So in the
Good job.
last few years, you know, Cardinals have tattooed the Astros and the Red Sox and a couple other teams here and there. Detroit. We're gonna take care of the Yankees this year. They deserve one good whooping this year in the playoffs. I'd like it for it to be the Indians. That'd be fun.
Cleveland's going to get their pitchers healthy, and they're going to go to the World Series.
So I got Cardinals and we all picked our favorite team
Great coach.
except the Royals. Terry couldn't do that.
You can't. I'm sorry.
You got to
You gotta get there. You gotta get there.
All right, folks, we're about to take a break. We'll be right back on KTCBroadcasting.com.